2023 election, full text of Obasanjo endorsement of P2B. Welcome to the news and please subscribe to our channel. To get notified when we post hot juicy news updates, please click on the notification bell. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has publicly declared support for P2B to win the 2023 presidential election. Obasanjo made the declaration on Sunday in an open letter to the youths in Nigeria. The letter coincides with the New Year celebration and comes 8 weeks to the general polls. He said, though other candidates have the capacity to rule, P2B is the needed needle and thread the country needs. Obasanjo urged young Nigerians to exercise their right, take after part in the 2023 election, and defend their votes. The full text of the letter reproduced below. My appeal to all Nigerians, particularly young Nigerians. Happy New Year. May all our nation calamities disappear this year. I am constrained to write this letter to all Nigerians, especially young Nigerians, friends of Nigeria, globally as well as our development partners, because of the gravity, responsibility, and implications of the collective decisions Nigerians, both young and old, will be making within the next 2 months. The last 7.5 years have no doubt been eventful and stressful years for many Nigerians. We have moved from the frying pan to the fire and from the mountain top to the valley. Our leaders have done their best, but their best has turned out to be not the best for Nigeria and Nigerians at home and abroad. For most Nigerians, it was hell on earth. Those of us who are alive should thank God for his mercies, brace ourselves for the remaining few months of this administration, pray and work very hard for an immediate better future. Future of liberation, restoration, and great hope and expectation. We have had campaigners going up and down the country, feeding us with what they mean and what they do not mean, what they understand and what they do not fully understand, what is possible and what is not possible, what is realistic and what is unrealistic, what is true and what is untrue. I believe that we need not to be focused nor gullible. I believe that we need not to be confused, rather, nor be gullible. Let us be cautious not to be fooled again. I have interacted with the major contestants and I find it interesting that in one form or the other, each of them claims they want to do what I did during the presidency and to take Nigeria back to where it was at the height of my presidency and immediately after. I was pained that most of them did not realize that Nigeria of today has been dragged down well below Nigeria of the beginning of my presidency in June 1999. Although at that time Nigeria was in very bad shape and was tottering on the verge of collapse and breakup. Even then, Nigeria was not faced with the level of pervasive and mind-numbing insecurity, rudderless leadership, buoyed by mismanagement of diversity and pervasive corruption, bad economic policies resulting in extremes of poverty and massive unemployment and galloping inflation. For these reasons, I kept pointing out to them that instruments used in 1999 to 2007 and methodology used will grossly be inadequate for the perilous situation we now find ourselves in. Without prejudice, but the greatest respect to each individual, without most regard for the best for Nigeria and all Nigerians, and from my personal experience, all the major contestants claim to be my mentees. I will not deny such positions since I have worked with all of them directly and indirectly in government. I have come to realize a number of factors in character, attributes, and attitude that are necessary in the job of directing the affairs of Nigeria successfully, and at a time where, like this, these characteristics or attributes are many, but let us be mindful of some key ones together. From interaction and experience, and as mentees, as most of them claim, I will without prejudice, fear, or ill will make bold to say that there are 4 major factors to watch out for in a leader you will consider to hoist on yourself and on the rest of Nigerians in the coming election under what I called TVCP, track record of ability and performance, vision that is authentic, honest and realistic, character and attributes of a lady and a gentleman who are children of God and obedient to God, and physical and mental capability with soundness of mind as this very taxing and tasking assignment as the best of times, and more so, it is the most difficult time that we are. Let me turn straight away that Emil Loco, my son, and I have paid my dues, and are one and the same thing, and a wrong attitude and mentality for the leadership of Nigeria now. They cannot form the new pedestal to reinvent and to invest in a new Nigeria based on an all-Nigerian government for the liberation and restoration of Nigeria. Such a government must have representation from all sectors of our national life: public, private, civil society, professional, labor, employers, and the diaspora. The solution should be in we and us, and not in me and I. Mind you, I reiterate that no human being is an angel, let alone a messiah, but there are elements of these attributes and on comparative basis, and by measure of what we know of, and what some of us have experienced, that from the front and what some of us have experienced from the front runners, we must access judiciously and choose wisely. If anybody claims he or she has anything to do to the contrary, it will be up to him or her to prove to us. I pray not to be proved right again in bad sense, but rather to be proved right in the positive and glorious sense of Nigeria becoming what God has created it to be: a land of plenty and prosperity, united for common purpose of inclusive society, common security, shared prosperity, equity, egalitarianism, justice, and equal stake at the project Nigeria with leadership rule of Nigeria for the black race and fair share of global division of labor. One ridiculous point that has started to justify unjustifiable appointment and selection is competence. In truth and in reality, genuine competence can be found in any region or section of Nigeria through track record and performance, if only people honestly and sincerely look hard for people with such attainment and attribute. Most of us in good conscience can testify to competence when we see anywhere. What is masqueraded as competence is self-interest and nepotism. We have a unique opportunity to correct ourselves by ourselves for the good of ourselves. Those who are preaching division, segregation, separation, and want to use diversity for their own self and selfish interests are enemies of the nation, no matter what else they may disguise, profess, or proclaim. The challenge is for Nigerian youth. If we fall prey again, we'll have ourselves to blame, and no one say how many more knocks Nigeria can take before it tips over. To be forewarned is to be forearmed. The future is not a motion. I challenge you to arise. Let nobody pull wool over your eyes to divide you and or segregate you to make you on the lines. Nigerian youth, wherever they come from, north or south, east or west, need education, which is now denied to over 20 million children. Nigerian youth also need skills, empowerment, employment, reasonable good living conditions, welfare, and well-being. This is just the beginning of this article. I tell you, there is a whole lot. But all this article is trying to say, make sure nobody deceive you. No allow anybody to come and tell you it was white when it was black. Look very well before we leap, because they said, according to him, we don't know how many wrong leaders Nigeria can take before Nigeria collapse like a pack of cats. All right, on this note, you have come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.